Have you ever heard a room described as masculine and thought, okay, but what does that actually mean? You look at a few examples and think, does masculine always mean dark? Does it mean heavy? Does it mean I have to change everything? You like the idea of a masculine space, you're just unclear what that really looks like or how to create it in your own home. In this video, I'm going to give you clear, practical answers to those questions, and I'll show you 5 specific things you can do quickly to make any room feel composed and intentional. Let's define the word masculine. According to Merriam-Webster, masculine means having qualities appropriate to or usually associated with a man. Oxford puts it this way: having qualities traditionally ascribed to men, such as strength and boldness. Now here's the important part most people miss. Words don't have a single meaning, they have a semantic range. For example, the word heavy. When discussing physics, it's a measure of mass and gravity. With music, it's a description of intensity and emotional force. And in a conversation, it's a conveyance of how serious the subject is. The word mutates based on context, domain, audience, and time period. So when a word is used differently across scenarios, it's being applied to different parts of its range. That's language doing what language has always done. This isn't to be confused with false propagation or distortion. Distortion is when a word is redefined to contradict its historical core. Now the question arises, what part of the semantic range is being used for the word masculine when describing a room or home? When we use the word masculine in interior design, we're operating in what you might call the aesthetic archetypal language. It's visual style mixed with deeply ingrained human symbolism. This means form, material, proportion, presence. The use of the word goes back centuries. It lives in architecture, furniture making, tailoring, and art theory. It's not new, and it's not ideological. Thus, within the world of homes, masculine becomes shorthand for a specific visual language. You're here, I'm here. The masculine home is here, because we carry an affection for surroundings displaying certain signals. The first is heavier visual weight. Solid forms, grounded silhouettes, fewer fragile lines. Second, material honesty. Wood, stone, leather, metal. Materials that age and show wear. Thirdly, a controlled palette. Neutrals, earth tones, deep colors, and cooperative contrast. Fourth, restraint over ornament. Structure and proportion over decoration. Lastly, presence over superficial styling. Objects that feel anchored as opposed to playful or temporary. You know, we get comments often on YouTube and Instagram from women who will say something like, "I love this room. It's everything I appreciate." Wait, does this mean that I'm a masculine man? You can tell that their comment is made in good fun, probably while laughing a bit to themselves, but I would bet that there is a touch of real curiosity there. If I like these types of rooms, does it mean that, as an individual, I am masculine? No. These are formal qualities of an interior, meaning they exist independently of who owns them or gravitates towards them. You can describe them without referencing a person. They can be evaluated purely by looking at them. They remain true no matter who is in the room. A chair doesn't become visually heavier because a man versus a woman sits in it. And a room doesn't gain proportion because of who owns it. So why is it then that rooms described as masculine are predominantly accepted by men? It's because the qualities of the room have long been associated with historical male archetypes. Every man, every father, was once a young son, a grandson. His father and forefathers acted as guiding models to revere traits like strength, durability, reserve, permanence, authority, composure. These are symbolic associations. Just like feminine has historically described curvature, lightness, and softness in art, masculine has historically described solidity, weight, and restraint. That's descriptive lineage, not exclusion. So when we say a room is masculine, we're stating that there are symbols of permanence and authority, it favors weight over ornament, the room communicates presence, and humans respond to those cues instinctively, whether they realize it or not. To truly understand and make this connection, let's look at a few real references. Men that history remembers for their composure rather than flash. George Washington, calm, disciplined, and measured. He led without showmanship, avoided excess, and he stepped away from power when he could have kept it. Marcus Aurelius, quiet, disciplined, and steady. He ruled through war and plague without panic, relying on self-control and inner strength. Winston Churchill, unshakable in crisis. When everything felt unstable, he projected confidence and kept people focused. Theodore Roosevelt, physically tough and mentally serious. He valued preparation, discipline, and competence over bravado. Ulysses S. Grant, calm under pressure. He didn't posture or dramatize. He stayed steady and let persistence do the work. This is the lineage masculine interiors come from. Now let's make this practical at home with 5 fast, high-leverage design tactics that push a room into the masculine register quickly. The first is to darken the wall tone, even if it's one wall. Deep, grounded colors add instant weight. Charcoal, deep olive, navy, oxblood, iron gray. One dark wall does more than 4 light ones. Now, does masculine automatically mean dark? No. Dark is just one of the fastest ways to add depth. When someone says, "I don't want dark," what they usually mean is they don't want gloomy, they don't want heavy-handed or feel boxed in. That's an execution problem, not a masculinity problem. Dark done poorly feels oppressive. Dark done well is beautiful and enriching. Number 2, switch to low, warm lighting. This is the fastest upgrade in any room. The range of 2000 to 2700 Kelvin temperature bulbs is a better representation of a natural flame. Utilize table lamps, floor lamps, and wall sconces. Rely less on overhead lighting and focus more on pooling. Masculine spaces are often a collection of designated areas. Appropriate lighting helps define those borders. Third, limit the color palette. Cap the room at 2 or 3 main tones. You might also have 1 to 2 derivatives of those tones as accents. An example could be the main tones of charcoal and brown. The accents of black, brass, and cream could live under those. That's it. Remove colors that don't serve the mood, and that restraint will read as confidence. Number 4 is to lower the perceived center of gravity. You're grounding the room visually. Lower furniture, heavier rugs, darker tones closer to the floor. This is the creation of a room whose base feels established and controlled. And then 5th, frame your art in dark, substantial frames. This one is going to be instant. Black, dark walnut, brushed bronze, all good choices. You'll find that oversized art generally makes more of an impact than gallery walls. When you tailor these 5 things into a room correctly, they work together as a system. People don't react to the room by saying, "It's dark," nor do they say, "This room feels masculine." They say, "This feels intentional, this feels calm, this feels expensive." Why? Because you've removed noise, you've added weight, order has been established. Take pride in creating a masculine room. It will be lineage-inspired and heritage-rich, a true enchantment of strength. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you feel like sticking around a while, feel free to subscribe. See you on the next one.